1 minute warning!
To the goofball army out there, hi at the families, tell them to get to the next room, tell them to go to your neighbors, because we got goofball news to go over, and it might get crazy.
Typically does, guys. If it's your first episode ever, you got like 30 seconds before we start, so not enough time to go to the bathroom, but go get a drink, because trust me, you're probably going to need it there. In the meantime, the rest, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. That way you know about future episodes as well, guys. Buckle your seatbelts if you haven't already. Make sure your tray is in the upright position here, guys, because we are just about ready to get going. And like, whew.
Guys, if you want a crazy ride going forward, a bunch of nonsense, but all nothing but the truth about the Giants, listen in, buckle in, tell a friend.
Let's go.
And now, here are your goofball hosts, Drew and Rob.
Welcome, fellow goofballs, to Two Giant Goofballs, the New York Giants podcast. I am Drew, joined as always by...
I'm me, Rob, bringing you a Hump Day podcast.
Hump Day!
Hump Day! True.
Watch live, at least it's Hump Day. We got a lot to go over with you guys here. There is people beefing left and right. Like, this is definitely not going to be a Wendy's commercial with people going, where's the beef? Like, that's not going to be the situation. We know where it is. There's multiple issues going on right now. We got new Giants. We got old Giants. We got Giants that are coming back potentially. Giants that are back. We got craziness going on. The New York Giants news like crazy. So let's get right into it, guys. All right, let's get the fightings out of the way here. Because the very first thing we got to talk about is Russell Wilson and Sean Payton still beefing, apparently. Like, seriously? How long is this going to go on for?
The bad breakup.
This is worse than a bad breakup at this point. This is like the breakup that just never actually fully finalizes. Like, eventually you move on. We all have bad breakups. You move on eventually. That's life. So, for those who might not be aware of what happened here, after the game, Sean Payton said, they found a little spark with that quarterback. I was talking to John Mara not too long ago, and I said, we were hoping that that change would have happened long after our game. Now, at the time, I took that as just positive towards Jackson Dart.
I did.
Call me naive. I like to think of the best of people, even though I'm
a backhand slap. That's what that was. It was a pimp slap.
And that's definitely how Russell Wilson took it. Who went on to X saying, classless, but not surprised. Didn't realize you're still bounty hunting 15 plus years later through the media. A bunch of emojis with a hashtag let's ride. Now, first off, the hashtag let's ride is the best part of this entire story. Still doing.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh. But seriously, like, Russ, chill. Like, I get it. Like, I looking back on it, at the time, I was like, okay, you're just saying positive things towards Jackson Dart. I didn't think of it from Russ's perspective. I get it. But really, you want to go back and forth with Sean Payton 2 years after he dumped your ass and left a whole bunch of money on the table to do it? Like, they paid millions of dollars to make him go away.
Legit millions.
Like, I just don't get it. Like, give up, move on. You made your money. You know, and like, that's one of the very few times that I feel like you see Russell Wilson do something that just doesn't make sense to do, like, publicly like that. And to me, it tells me that the end is near. And I'm not saying like we know the end is near. I mean, he knows the end is near. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the kind of move you make when you're like, I'm just putting all my chips on the table. I don't give a damn anymore. I'm done.
Yeah, especially how political like he has spoken, like through his career, and about being Mr. Wishy-washy for a lot of things. This is like, he took this as an insult. He came back and said, oh, here you go. I see your douchey remark, and I raise you another one.
That's
and then emojis.
Yeah. That's not like him, and that's why I'm saying I think the end either one of two scenarios. Either he knows this is probably the last ride for him here, or I feel like this is a scenario where everybody has that one person that just gets under their skin. Is Sean Payton that guy that just gets under his skin?
It could be.
And I'll say this, Sean Payton probably knows that if that's the case and probably loves that.
100%. He's
Like
off on the side, just chewing his gum.
Yeah. Like he definitely strikes me as that guy. Like they'd be like, yeah, this guy hates me.
Let me poke the bear a little bit more.
Oh, damn straight. Like there's no doubt in my mind. So like I said, I thought it was just interesting. Here's we are years later, and these two are still now fighting it out, so to speak, through the media, or in Russ's case through Twitter, because he doesn't actually interview since he doesn't play. But that's also kind of a dig at him too. It is what it is. It is what it is, guys.
Hashtag let's ride.
Yeah, hashtag let's ride. So not the only beef going on, but apparently this is like imitation beef now going on, where it's like the stuff you see in the vegan food aisle at this point. They're the impossible.
The impossible.
Yeah. So we talked about after the game, Brian Burns, flipping out in the tunnel, flipping out of there, sending 8 people onto the in coverage and just rushing 3. And you saw Dexter Lawrence also talking about the same issue as well in his locker as well. So Brian Burns took to Twitter afterwards and said, people took that tunnel video all out of context. I wasn't mad at Shane nor the call. ... Smack my face emoji. I guess that's what you call that thing. Smack my face.
Yeah. Or shake my head.
No, he's not shaking his head. He literally has like a hand.
Yeah, but sometimes like if you go like this.
Shaking the thing here.
It could be either or.
I can't. He was weird going like that. I don't know. I can't. This is weird now. Anyway.
It's a Jean-Luc Picard.
But well, no, they didn't have Picard emoji and call it a day. But do they even have a Picard emoji? I don't know. I don't do the emoji thing. If you can't tell, I'm old. It is what it is. But
that's the old thing to do is emoji. You're just that much older than everyone else.
But I like Burns, dude. You think we're morons? Were you yelling and cursing in excitement that you just lost the game after putting 8 people into coverage?
X's and O's where you can give hugs and kisses to your mom.
Like you're literally flipping out in front of a camera. Like I get it. You kind of have to say probably something like this to try to quell this a little bit. I don't think anybody's buying this whatsoever. Yeah. Like this is about as honest as when a politician says they love us.
Yeah.
Like,
I'll do everything I can.
Yeah. This is such BS. Like there's no way he's not pissed off. There's no way he's pissed off. He's not pissed off.
I would be actually pissed off if he wasn't pissed off he lost the game.
Yes.
After having such a dominant performance, after having such a great game and like lead up to this. Like you guys played great defense for 3 quarters.
Shut the team out.
Yeah, shut the team out for what, 52 minutes?
Yeah. Well, 45.
Well, they didn't score it directly going into the fourth quarter.
No, but the first one was early on. The first quarter.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Whatever it was.
So, but I'm just saying, like, there's no way anybody's buying this BS. And on top of that, it's not just him. Dexter Lawrence made the comment at the locker. You also had, Kayvon talking about how they had to have a team owners meeting, and it kind of comes off as a good thing, but you look at it now, like, okay, well, people are speaking negative about him. Was this like a good thing, or was it like Kayvon saying, "Dude, we got to sit down and talk about this BS"? Like that's where it is, and it's just insanity. As Jay says, they're saving Bowen to be the final patsy at the end of the year. Yeah,
just bad.
That's where I feel like is going on. I mean, how else do you explain the fact this man still has a job, unless you just don't have anybody else? But you do have 2 guys on
staff, a little bit of both
defensive coordinators.
It's a little bit of both there, because at the end of the day, the Mara families test out to see, and Shane tests out to see what goes on this year with Darden, how he plays, and you have to give Daboll the shot to show what he has in his quarterback that he just drafted. You got to give him the year. As much as we want him to be fired, he just got his quarterback. So they have to implode tremendously for like Daboll to get fired this year. And just to appease the fans like us that are saying that he should have been gone, there's got to be a patsy.
Yeah. But the difference with this is at the end of the day, we have somebody who can go ahead and take over for Shane Bowen. We don't necessarily have somebody who can go ahead and take over for Brian Daboll. Like, we don't have anybody with head coach experience whatsoever on this entire coaching staff here. You know?
Yeah.
That's the difference. That's the difference. So let Bowen go. Let it go. Okay. Listen to the people in
Let
Frozen.
it go.
Let it go. So, all right. Let's get into our last bit of beef here.
Beefcake.
And this is an ex-Giant, apparently, that's kind of upset some current Giants here. Tiki Barber, who, let's be honest here, he does tend to rub some people the wrong way at times. That just is what it is. So he's on his show on WFAN. Says it's 3rd and 4 or 5. And Sean Payton has used 2 of those timeouts on that third down, the only play that you call. And I don't know if Mike Kafka trying to be cute. I don't know if this is Brian Daboll trying to be aggressive. I don't know if this is Jackson Dart trying to be a hero. The only thing you do on that play is run the ball so that you force the Denver Broncos to use a 3rd timeout. This game was lost, and you heard me scream it as soon as they decided to put the ball in a rookie's hand. This is why I always distrust rookies in moments where they make stupid rookie decisions, like throwing the ball over the middle of the field in simulated blitz when the linebacker is actually dropping into coverage and you don't see him. And you think you have a big play, but you don't. This is on the play call, period. The only thing you do is force the Denver Broncos to use 3 timeouts, keep the clock running, and punt the ball away. It's an inexcusable play call. I don't understand it in any capacity. Now, listen, I can understand why people feel they need to come to Dart's defense with that, because it's kind of, you can kind of see this as a knock. But is he wrong?
No, it just, everyone knows that Tiki just doesn't have like the EQ to go out there. It's say something like, "Oh yeah, I understand he's a rookie, but just sit there. I don't trust rookies."
Yeah,
like there's a big difference. Like you're saying the same thing, but just 2 different ways. And it's like he's sitting there and it's like knocking Dart for like going out there playing. Like, and at the day it was play calling.
See, I don't think it's an EQ thing with him though. I look at it as like Tiki's not a player anymore. He's a member of the media. He has a job to do, and his job is to report on things going on with, you know, the team as a whole. But it's also to go ahead and give his opinion as somebody who used to play the game. You know, like I hear people all the time. This is the weird thing. I hear people all the time with Carl Banks. Oh, he used to play the game. I want to hear what Carl Banks has to say. But then Tiki talks about it. It's like, shut up, Tiki. Like, he played.
Carl Banks gets a little bit. Carl Banks gets a little bit.
You can make the case, and listen, you know, I have all the respect in the world for everything that Carl Banks did as a Giant, like years and years of being a really good player. But Tiki Barber, you could say, was a more important Giant in his tenure because he's literally the best running back we ever had. You're not saying Carl Banks is the best linebacker ever. Let's be honest. We all know who that is.
Yeah, he's in very tough company. There's a difference. It's a very tough company.
Oh, I get it, but I'm saying like Tiki Barber is more to the history of the team, but I feel like he just gets told kind of to shut up. Like, and I think a lot of this, let's be honest, he didn't handle the whole situation when he left very well. He tried to make a splash as a media person. You know, him and the Coughlin beef definitely spilled through, and he said some things that, you know, people didn't like about Eli.
I'm one of them.
Listen, I didn't like it when he said it either. But I think in the end, the thing is that he's a guy who just says what he thinks.
There's nothing wrong with that. And the segue into where we're going here is like it's how you say. Like you said, like this is a rookie mistake. You can even be a little harsh to say it's a rookie mistake, but just sit there. I just don't trust rookies in big plays. Like when you start, it's almost the way he said it is almost like he's going after Dart. Kind of like how I guess you didn't see how Sean Payton was like, "Oh yeah, we like the young guy you got, but we want to see him exceed after we play." But it's kind of like, "Hey Russ, we're hoping we play you because we know you suck, and we want to see that young kid because we think he has talent to develop after we play." That's kind of what he's saying in the back end, and that's people can take it that way. Like you may not see it, but that's how people take it.
And I get it because of the other issues in the past, I feel like. But tell me where he's wrong here.
He's not wrong. I didn't say he was wrong. I said it's how he said it.
I'm saying, but that's what I'm saying.
That's the first thing I said. That's the first thing I said. He wasn't wrong. It's how he said it. That's where it comes down to.
I just feel like people get too sensitive because of the other issues in the past with Tiki. Like in this case here, he's not wrong. And you could make the case point blank that he was actually trying to protect Dart here. Because he's saying point blank, you're putting too much on a rookie. Rookies make mistakes. They don't necessarily see things that veterans see. And look what happened. You put him in a scenario, he didn't see things that a veteran might have seen. And because of that, I'm not going to say he cost the game. And to be honest, I don't think Tiki says point blank, Jackson Dart cost us the game. But that play call very well could have been one of the factors that cost us the game.
So he allowed himself to put more of like a harsh sentiment of saying that those words on Dart, on a rookie, not even saying Dart, on a rookie, than saying, "Hey, shame on the coaching staff for putting a rookie in this position." There's a difference. So now that's more bullish towards the coaching staff than what you just tried to read into what he said when he could have said it himself. Once again, it's the verbiage of how he got to his message, and that's why people are getting pissed off.
I get it. Like I said, and I think that's always just been kind of a weakness of his, so to speak. There, like I don't think
once again goes down to EQ.
Yeah. But I just feel like what he said is not wrong. What he said, I take more of it as a slight towards Brian Daboll, towards Mike Kafka. I didn't take it as a thing towards Jackson Dart. The only thing he said about Dart is, I don't know if this is Jackson Dart trying to be a hero. And I think you have to, as a player especially, have to say that kind of stuff because things happen in the huddle. You weren't in that huddle. You know what I mean? Like, we don't know what the scenario was. Maybe they tried to do another run. Jackson Dart's like, "No, I got this." And they were like, "Okay." Like, we legitimately don't know. So I have no problem with him saying that. And that's the only time he said something specifically to Dart. So, and I get it. I think this is the issue of Tiki. I think if anybody else had come on there and said that, I don't think it'd been an issue. And that's not trying to give Tiki a pass for the past things in any way, shape, or form. I just don't think this is a big deal unless it was Tiki Barber. Like, I think if anybody else said that, I'm trying to get like let's say, I don't know who you want to throw out there. So let's say Amani Toomer, because Amani Toomer says things about the Giants all the time and pops on as a member of the media and stuff like that. If Toomer had said that, I guarantee nobody even blinks.
No, it definitely would make news. I don't know if it would be as big news as Tiki saying it, but it definitely would make news.
He's on the radio every time. He says things all the time. That's the thing. That's why I don't get it. I don't know. I didn't think it's a big deal. But the big one that why people saw as far as this is Malik Neighbors, literally on X after that came out, said, "Former Giants legend talking about a rookie. We serious." Like, he took all offense to it. And the reports have been that a lot of the players kind of took offense to what Tiki said there. And again, stop being sensitive. That's a sensitive thing. That's all.
To a point, I hear what you're saying, but at the same time, it's just, once again, verbiage.
Yeah.
Because listen, you want to talk about people being straight shooters and like being sensitive, again a little hard. Yeah, Tiki wasn't. He was a little sensitive on his way out of the Giants organization before going to media. So you can sit there and say that.
Yeah. And like I said, I see Anthony's comment here again. He said, as they should back their quarterback. No, I have no problem with the backing the quarterback. I don't think, again, I think that's the problem is I think that wasn't a shot at the quarterback. That was a shot at the play calling. You could back your quarterback and not be overly sensitive.
You could have ended the conversation right before he goes, this is why I always distrust rookies.
Is he wrong, though?
You gotta say this is why you don't put the decision making in the rookie's hands. Different statement, different verbiage, same statement. But when you say you distrust rookies, means because he's out there, Cam Scannaboo and Jack Stark can't do anything because there's no trust in those guys to do the thing.
Yeah.
They're winning games for us, but they're the reason why we're winning games. So once again, it's the verbiage.
But again, you can protect them from themselves, and I think that's what I kind of took that as. So, yeah, it is what it is. All right, let's talk about some injury trouble we're in here. So, y'all know we've been having issues on offense. Obviously, Malik Neighbors out for the year. Darius Slayton's been out the last couple of weeks. JMS had to leave, in the Eagles game. It was out last week. Well, the defense has definitely now gotten hit with the injury bug, guys. And I mean, like, hit where it's like got smacked by like a swarm of injury bugs at once, it seems like. So, we know obviously last week, Paulson Adebo, Jevon Holland also left the game. Well, right now they're both day-to-day guys. On top of that, Burns left the stadium in a boot last week. He's also day-to-day. On top of that, Chauncey Golston still day-to-day on top of that. Like, we're kind of in for it this week, guys, injury-wise here. Like, we need this defense to be like the defense they were the first time we played the Eagles. You take out starting safety, number one corner, and the NFL leader in sacks, and a decent backup defensive lineman.
It's a big problem.
That's an issue, guys. That's flat out an issue. And I know people are going to like me saying this, but we're going to have a little more tough time, I think, beating the Eagles this time to be the last time because we're playing in Philly. Jalen Carter should be playing, which was a nice plus for us not having to face him, let's be honest. And I don't know if it was just a lucky game or whatever, but their offense did look a little better last week.
They definitely look better. They start throwing the ball down the field because they realized that Barkley couldn't run the ball. I think they tried to overstuff Barkley down the middle against us at home because we haven't stopped throwing that much. And we did. And they weren't throwing the ball. They're still banged up themselves on that O-line. They still got their own injuries. So, but going into this game, like I said, going into the last game, if we got a shot to beat the Eagles, it's the first time we meet them.
Yeah.
And going into Philly, it's going to be a little different. You got some players that should be coming back from injury. And now that we're a little more banged up,
Yeah. I'm saying it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. And hopefully some of these guys are good to go. I mean, let's be honest. The biggest guy that is going to have to step up potentially here if Burns is out is Abdul Carter. Like he's the guy who's going to have to step up. Like it can't be, I almost got the quarterback. Like he's and again, he's been good. I'm not upset with where Abdul Carter is at. He's literally doubled all other rookies in quarterback pressures so far this year. Like he's been that good. And I don't think people recognize sometimes they'll get just the sack stat. But
yeah,
we
talked about that at the beginning of the year. Like you can't go off the sack stat because like we can't have every big guy out there feasting. Like look at Burns. He's been very gluttonous out there so far.
Absolutely been feasting.
Yeah, and you got Sexy Dax that wants to get his time and getting those sacks, gobbling off those sacks, if you will.
Yeah. So yeah, well,
so I said you still got Carter and Tips that want to get theirs. So like they've been getting their pressures. So if you got Burns out,
he's basically going to be having to fill that hole left by losing the NFL leader in sacks. Like he's going to have to figure something out. Jay says JMS is back. He's a limited participant in practice today, Wednesday. So we'll find out more as the week progresses there. But the fact that he's even practicing at all is a good sign. That means he's progressing out of concussion protocol there. So he says, is Kayvon hurting Carter's development? I don't think so. I don't think so. No.
If anything, it's definitely going to help at the end of it because
I think it's taking the pressure off of him.
100%. That's what I was about to say. You take a rookie, you throw him into that hot spot where he's got to play Burns, you got to play Tibbs. It's going to, listen, you have one bad game. It's like the bounce back from a bad game. That's one thing. But we had a couple back-to-back, and especially the way our defense started, it wasn't so hot. You kind of get wrecked, in the mental case, trying to get these sacks. And now you're playing catch-up. Now, because you're limited in that role, and you're not constantly out there, you're still fighting for it. Like, he's got in the back of his mind, I can get more from out there more. I can get more from out there more. And I just got just more to prove.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing for me is just that the pressure is off of him.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm saying, like the pressure, because, you got Kayvon out there who's been playing good. Not great, but he's been still above average, which is what we said he is. So I don't expect a lead out of him right now at this point. He's kind of showed you what he is until he proves otherwise. And Burns has been having just a freaking defensive player of the year kind of season at that point there. So, it's.
You heard the podcast. He's like, Drew, I'm going to shoot. I'm going to prove you wrong, Drew.
He overpaid. But yeah, like I said, it's a good spot for him to be in. I think anywhere else he'd have so much pressure on him to perform and be have 5 or 6 sacks at this point in his career. So, listen, half a sack he's got, that's it. He's got one he lost because of the penalty last week. He had the intentional grounding. He could easily have multiple sacks right now that were taken away from him, and nobody would even saying anything. So, it is what it is. And then Anthony says, no, I think Bowen is hurting his development. Probably. Jason says the guy overpaid for dancing terrible. I never said I danced well. I don't know where this came from. People expecting me
to definitely sold you up, man.
Dancing with the Stars at this point here. I mean, all right, let's go ahead and pay the bills real quick. We'll be right back, and we got to talk about some roster moves here. We got a couple new Giants. We got a Giant that's gone. We got Giant that's back. We got all kinds of stuff here. So,
thanks for watching. Like the show? Of course you do, or you would have turned it off by now and not be hearing me. There are plenty of ways to support the show. YouTube is the best place to join us, and we offer memberships there with fun benefits like custom emojis and early access to video clips. Of course, there you can also send super chats and stickers to send one-time support payments. The best way to support the show is to buy these drunk idiots beers at buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs. Along with one-time support payments, there are also monthly plans, so you can continue to help kill their livers each month. You can also show people that you are a goofball by visiting our store at 2giantgoofballs-shop.fourthwall.com. We got everything from shirts, hats, phone cases, funny candles, buttons, stickers, and even a 2 Giant Goofballs towel to dry off your goofballs. Of course, you can always support the show for free by simply hitting the like, subscribe, and share button wherever you are watching or listening to this. Hit the thumbs up on YouTube. Leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. It helps the show tremendously, and quite frankly, the goofballs suck at marketing and need your help to get the word out. Thank you for being part of the Goofball Army and for taking the time out to support the show.
All righty, guys. Let's talk about these roster moves. We got all kinds of roster moves. So let's talk about the big one here that everybody's been talking about now since this game, and that's the kicker position. So first off, good news, everybody. Jude McAtamney got cut. That's spectacular news. That kid needs to be nowhere near the goddamn playing field ever again. And that's not just for our field, anybody's field. He needs to go back to playing Irish football, whatever they play over there. Rugby. I don't know. I don't know that much about my Irish heritage. I just know about whiskey and potatoes. But
whiskey and a jar.
No, that's a good Metallica song too. But
the cover of an Irish song.
I know it is. The whole album was covers, but yeah. So he's officially gone now. Listen. He's gone from the active roster. And I told people when this first broke yesterday that when he got cut, I'm like, watch, he's going to be back. No, they're going to let him go for good. Nope, he's back. And listen, anybody you see on social media right now that's shocked that Jude McAtamney is back on the practice squad, and I'm going to say this without knowing a list of who, but I saw a couple people shocked about this already on Twitter when it broke a couple hours ago. If anyone is shocked, they don't know football, and you need not be paying attention to anything they say going forward, basically.
Pretty much.
Like, he doesn't count towards the roster. He's a free person to hold on to the roster. Of course they're going to put him on. Why would they not put him on the practice squad? And to the other extent, who the hell is going to try to put him to their active roster? He'll be here for the rest of the year on the practice squad. What he's going to be. If you couldn't see that, you just don't know football. So it irked me when I saw people saying that they're freaking out later on. Now, the good news on this, though, is Graham Gano was designated to return from the IR. He is expected, assuming he's healthy on Sunday, he's expected to play. And it's funny because everybody is expected to play if healthy on Sunday. And for most players, you're like, oh, he's still progressing. We don't know. And I don't know whether to take that as a shot, like he should be able to play, or like, oh, we don't know if he's going to hurt himself between now and then. Like, I don't know.
Nice little dig there.
Yeah, like, oh my God. It's just like, it's sad to where we've come from. But, Koo is also, of course, on the roster. If for any reason Gano is not able to go, they will go ahead and pull him up from the practice squad and have him be the kicker this weekend. So there's a chance we do see him. Though, we're going to have to probably assume that it is Graham Gano at this point here. Now, I do got to correct one other thing that I keep seeing people say. Graham Gano is toast. He's not toast. Let's be very clear on this. When he is healthy, he's still a damn good kicker. Like, I want to keep it real about Gano. I want him gone, as most Giants fans do. But I want him gone because he can't stay healthy and makes a ton of money. I don't want him gone because he's toast. When he's healthy, he hits the goddamn field goals.
100%. He is, even still, like, when he was hurt, he was still like hitting him at like a very high percent rate. So
yeah,
the problem is his availability. It's like, because if you're not available to play,
availability.
Yeah. So when you're paying this guy this amount of money and he's playing half the season, that's an issue.
Now, for the year, guys, he's 6 for 6. That's where he's at in field goals. Now, it doesn't take a genius to figure out what the percentages of 6 for 6 is. Though I will say, I looked it up on Google real quick to see what his stats for the season, and they said he has a 10,000% field goal percentage there. 10,000%. I'm not sure they understand math. Yeah, I really don't think they understand math. Legit, if you Google Graham Gano's stats, that's what comes up. Career stats, 6 of 6, 10,000%. Somebody's explained this to Google how to do math. This is why AI is not going to take over the world, guys. Don't worry about robots.
Not yet.
But like I said, that's the big thing is people got to understand that. It's not the issue is not his kicking. The issue is his availability to be healthy. There is a difference, guys. So if he's back, great. He's back. All I'm going to say is have a backup plan. Like, be ready to go at any notice there with somebody else to kick in his place when he gets hurt again, because it's going to happen. And it's funny because Jay's right when he says that he says it's crazy. We're so worried if Thomas can stay healthy when the one to worry about was Gano. Yeah. And listen, there might have been 2 goofballs who were telling you that all offseason, that you should be worrying about Gano. You might be seeing them 3 times a week at the very minimum.
At the minimum.
We were there all offseason telling you all this. And you know what the funny thing is? Nobody's even talking about Andrew Thomas's injuries now that he's back because he's so damn good. Like, and the offensive line all of a sudden is good because of him. It's funny.
It's amazing.
Amazing, a couple weeks difference makes there. So, but like I said, that's the good news is Jude McAtamney gone, back on the practice squad now where he belongs. Just international player exemption that doesn't count towards that cap. That's why he's there. And now we like I said, we have hopefully Graham Gano back, and that allows us to have the option of actually trying to hit field goals again, which we haven't tried the last couple weeks at all, which makes no sense to me whatsoever.
Well, we saw what happened.
Why put him on the goddamn roster?
I agree.
whole thing again. I'm just saying, like, it's insanity. It's insanity. Jay asked, "Did you dance at your wedding, Drew?" Of course I did. Rob can tell you he was there.
He broke the camera.
I broke the camera.
Listen, we all saw you dancing. Imagine 4 hours of that at a reception.
Well, actually, in all fairness, remember at one point the DJ the music did stop. We broke his stuff apparently.
It's true.
That was true. Like mid song for "I Want to Dance with Somebody." So funny story for that. We're doing. We told the DJ, like listen, we're from Jersey. Most people are from Jersey that are here, even though we're in Florida. You have to play Bon Jovi. You have to play Whitney Houston at some point. So we're playing the Whitney Houston "I Want to Dance with Somebody" song there, and the guy hit a wrong button and it stopped. Like it just went away immediately. Mid song, everybody starts singing on their own at that point, still going word for word, dance for dance with it, ready to go. The dance floor is still hopping, and then all of a sudden he just kind of like slid the song back in randomly. I don't know how he did it, but it was funny because it's like I said, it's just you can't have a Jersey wedding and not have that song. You can't.
Of course.
You can't. So. All right, let's get into other Giants news here. Enough Whitney Houston talk. He says lots of drunk goofballs. Yeah, the open bar was definitely there, and we had plenty of drinks and all you can eat grouper, which was just a spectacular thing right there because grouper. Jay says, was Snooki in this situation there? No, those are two names I will not be dropping. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
He said, "Oh, you can eat pressure cooker food." I don't know how they cooked it. It was good. That's all I know. We had prime rib, we had grouper, we had some kind of chicken they wanted to include. I couldn't care about, and then tons of the most amazing.
I live for the beef.
The most amazing mashed potatoes I ever had in my life. I still want to try to mimic that. They use mascarpone cheese in it. I would never have thought of mascarpone cheese in mashed potatoes.
Marshmallow cheese.
Mascarpone is the same stuff they make cannoli out of. Come on. Anthony, tell him about a time. Come on. You can pop in the comments and let him know. Golden Corral Catering.
The pot roast burritos were on point. On point, let me tell you.
Oh, you can eat pot roast burritos.
At 7 before we started dancing.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, let's get back to Giants news here. So Giants got a wide receiver, guys.
Say what?
Wide receiver, and it's nobody that anybody even thought about. So Giants officially signed Ray-Ray McCloud today.
I got a big name. It's very long.
Yeah, it's a very long name. Ray-Ray is literally his name. It's not. I didn't stutter. So he signed to the practice squad, which is typical when you sign a new player at that point. He was just released by the Falcons yesterday. 29 years old, actually from Tampa. So we hit the high school. It was like half an hour from where I live. 5'9", 185 pounds. This year had 4 games, 6 catches for 64 yards. But it's a weird season he had in Atlanta. So, I looking him up, and I don't pretend. Listen, like I tell you guys all the time, I don't pretend to know ins and outs of every single football team out there. But when the Giants sign a player, I'm going to go ahead and look him. Now, we know Ray-Ray McCloud. He's been in the league for quite a while now. He had 3 catches, 51 yards in the very first game. Not a bad start to the season. So here's the problem. He's barely used after that. And McCloud was actually sent home last week before their game that the Falcons had versus the 49ers. Sent home. Not just told, hey, don't come to the stadium or what. No, at home. Gone.
Yeah.
Now
skip the don't suit up. Skip the don't come to the game.
Now, when that happened, Falcons head coach Raheem Morris said it was a private matter between McCloud and the team, and it was not disciplinary in nature, which is basically as goddamn ambiguous as you can get. Yeah. That's I don't know. I'd love to know. Now, again, they cut him now. days after that happened. But then he makes it a point to say that he released him because of strictly performance-based reasons. Like, that's weird. Like, why are you going out of your way? You send the guy home a couple days later, you cut him. Like, how are we supposed to not think that these two things are somehow intertwined?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, weirdly enough, I'm going to make the connection here because you can see it there. The first 3 games he was used. After that, pretty much wasn't really used. It kind of coincides when they fired wide receivers coach Ike Hilliard, which I never thought I'd talk so much about the Falcons ex-wide receiver coach. It's like the 3rd time we've talked about it.
I was about to say.
It's just weird. I gotta wonder if some of there's a connection there, and he just didn't like the way he's being used right now, or whatever the case may be. I don't know. Listen, I don't know. Like I see Jay there in the comments section saying maybe he's a diva there. I don't know. Like I don't pretend to know that much about Ray-Ray McCloud. He's been in the league for quite a while. I mean, he's a former 49er, former Steeler, former Panther, former Bill. You know, he's been around. We know him, but I'm not going to pretend to be an expert in the game. You know, like I don't know. But last year, 17 games, 62 catches, 686 yards and a touchdown. Literally a career high in catches and receiving yards. He also works as a running back, 271 career rushing yards. He also is a punt returner and a kick returner. So he's got use there. And you know what the weird thing is? What time do you not see a 5'9", 185-pound receiver and go, you know what, the Giants would love to have that?
They love a 5'9" receiver.
That's our MO. Let's be honest, guys. We like tiny receivers. Like, we don't get the big 6'4", 210-pound receiver in the room. Like, that's not what we're going to do. For some reason, the Giants seem to like these tiny receivers. You know? And let's be honest. Well, you know what? We'll play it this way. Rob, I'm going to give you 2 receivers. You tell me which one you'd rather have. Ray-Ray McCloud or Bo Collins?
Oh. Do I have to choose? Bo
Yes.
Collins?
You're choosing Bo Collins. Over guy had 600 and some odd yards last year.
I guess, but like, there's a reason why he's cut fairly. I don't know.
You're already ruining my point that I'm making here. Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
My point is that he is better than Bo Collins. He is better than Jalen Hyatt. He is better than Juice Wells. He's at least proven he can be part of an NFL team. Those guys have not. Let's be very frank.
He also played with better talent before this year.
I just don't know.
Of last year, would you play with Carson Wentz or DJ?
Neither. Honestly, I would probably take Daniel Jones over Carson Wentz last year.
I'd say when he got most of his yards with Carson, when he got most of his yards before Carson went down to downfall.
Carson sucks.
He didn't suck for the first 6 or 7 games when he had most of his yards.
Carson Wentz?
Yeah, I think his downfall started like week 7 or 8.
Quarterback for the Chiefs last year.
Not Carson Wentz. I'm sorry. Who was Kirk Cousins? I'm sorry, Kirk Cousins. I get those white guys confused all the time. Way off.
Wait a minute. What are you talking about?
Sorry, way off. Wrong dude.
Way to kill your own analogy.
Yeah. Sorry. Kirk Cousins or DJ last year. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying as far as that. Like, yeah, I would have taken if you were like 3 or 4 weeks into the league and said who you'd rather have, Kirk Cousins or DJ. Yeah, of course I'd take Kirk Cousins.
And I totally just did that.
Yes.
Wow.
I'm just saying, point blank, Bo Collins has done nothing in this league. Jalen Hyatt has done nothing in this league. You know, Juice Wells has done nothing in this league. Like, that's honest truth. Now, if you have faith that Bo Collins can turn into a receiver that's a legit NFL receiver, then I can kind of get it to a certain degree. If you have faith that Juice Wells can, I can kind of get it a little bit. If you have faith that Jalen Hyatt can, then I'm sorry, you're insane.
Yeah, he's done.
But we've seen enough of these guys now. Like, we're past the third of the way through the season. And these guys haven't done anything. And it's not like they haven't been trying. Like, how many passes have gone towards Jalen Hyatt? And how many times has Bo Collins just, when he stopped running his route, for example, against the Saints? Ray-Ray wouldn't have done that. Ray-Ray McCloud wouldn't have done that. So, like I said, I just don't know where he's at mentally. And I get that's the hesitation you might have. And I can see in the comments, CJ, that are saying that. Like, I get it. I have to hope that the Giants just did their homework to know one of two things: either what the scenario was, or at least that the scenario is all over and that's not typical of him. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I don't know. Like, that's just where I'm at now. Keep in mind, Brian Daboll did actually work with him before. He was a Bill back in 2008. That's right, 2018. I'm sorry.
I was going to say he hasn't been in the league that long.
That was Brian Daboll's very first year with the Bills. So there is a history here between Daboll and him. I don't know to what degree. You know, if you go to that was his rookie season. He played in 10 games though that year. Didn't do much receiving wise, but he did, play special teams and, was again on the team though. So I don't know. Like I said, I wish I had more information on what transpired there in Atlanta.
Yeah.
But
would be nice.
But that's just where I'm at there. I just think that I gotta hope that a guy who worked with him in the past knows enough of him to feel comfortable taking him. And you gotta also hope that he knows at least some of what's going on in this offense, where you feel okay taking him and putting him in there and starting him right off the bat, and not necessarily starting him, I should say, but playing him right off the bat. Like, I don't know if you put him in as a starter, but again, I'm hard pressed to find more receivers than just Wandale and Slayton that I would take over Ray-Ray right now.
I don't blame you. Yeah,
and I'm not trying to be a jerk about it. Like, I'm just being legit. Like, that's the truth of the matter where we're at.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Jay says Falcons know the wide receivers either way. I tell you, no, David Sills actually took his spot. That's the funny part. Sills Army. David Sills. Oh no! See, look, Rob was so shocked by that he left. That David Sills is still in there. So Jay says Drew playing this one on Madden, not real NFL. No, like I said, it's the truth. I don't see how anyone could sit there and honestly tell me that the guys we have right now are better than this guy. I'm sorry, our wide receiver was absolutely goddamn pathetic and pitiful past the first two. Absolutely pathetic, pitiful. So, yeah, no, I'm good. Like I said, I think this is actually a step up from Bo Collins, a step up from Gunnar Olszewski, a step up from from Jalen Hyatt. It is what it is. Juice Wells, all those players are not better than Ray-Ray right now. Flat out not. So, and you got to see what he is. And again, I just got to hope that the coaches know something, because they do know him. There is a history there. So, I know I have no faith in Brian Daboll overall to, be a decent head coach in this league, but I'm just got to hope he's not a complete moron. And you could easily make the case that he's just as good to pick up as a guy like a Tyler Lockett, who's quite frankly washed at this point too. And I know 7 teams, 7 years. I see you, Jay. 7 teams in 7 years. Yeah, I mean that's legit there. You got 1 year in Buffalo, 1 year in Carolina, 2 years in Pittsburgh, 2 years in San Francisco, and then 2 years in Atlanta. So this is his 8th year, and we're going on team 6. So yeah. And Debs' little Jordan is better. Yeah, you know what? I'll give you a little Jordan Humphrey. I'll give you that one. That one, 100% I'll give you. I forgot about little Jordan for a second. Mostly because his name is ridiculous and I want to forget the name. But yeah. So, but you're still talking about a guy who's going to sit your wide receiver 4. And better than the guys you have otherwise. So, like I said, I'm good with it. I'm good with it. I think it's a much better move than apparently everybody else does. So, it is what it is. Let's talk about one last guy who has been added to this roster. And that's a lost draft pick that's returned. So, you'll probably remember Korie Black, who we got with our 7th round pick there, our second to last pick in the draft this past year. We cut him on we had to get the roster down with the anticipation of putting him onto the practice squad. And he elected instead to go to the practice squad of the Jets. The Jets of all people. But he's back. The Giants have officially signed him off of the Jets practice squad. So interesting thing, because we kind of like wanted to know the tea of what happened there and stuff like that. And, listen, I don't expect him to tell us exactly what happened there, if there's any issues he had with anybody, but he stayed quiet for the most part, and good thing he did, because here he's back again. How awkward would that be? But with this time with the Jets, he just played in 2 games, didn't catch the field on defense at all, but did have 15 snaps on special teams there. Now, honestly, I think this is a move that has 2 different parts to it. One, Paulson Adebo, as we said, is injured. We don't know if he's going to play this week. Here's a guy that they can put in that knows the defense at that point at corner, because let's be honest, we're very thin at outside corner specifically. And if he can play, fine. You put him on the roster for 1 week, and then you can try to move him back down to the practice squad, or maybe you cut Deonte Banks. Just kidding, I know. No, we're not going to do that, but we should. We should. But there's options you have past that. And I'm sure the Giants had the discussion with him as far as what their plan is. That's a very typical thing in that scenario. We're not going to know it, but he knows it. So glad to have him back, because I thought it was kind of weird to lose your rookie before he even plays one single play with you. It's a bit odd. But like I said, all's well that ends well. He's back. Maybe he learned something with the Jets. So, all right. If we got Rob coming back again. Rob had to pay his internet bill real quick. He forgot to pay Comcast.
Yeah.
Spent so much time in the Golden Corral, he forgot to do the Comcast bill.
The Fios is over here, right?
Oh, Fios.
Yeah.
Ooh, your fiber optic internet. Ooh.
Ooh.
Well, you're in time, just in time for us to get out of here.
Oh.
Yeah. What?
Where stay out of here?
We've gone through all the topics. Guys, we are going to do things a little different. A heads up on that. We're going to do talk about the Eagles game tomorrow. Rob and I talked about it. We just played the Eagles 2 weeks ago. So I don't want to go on and on and on about stuff we literally just talked about 2 weeks ago. So we're going to talk a little bit about the injuries tomorrow. We're going to talk about the differences in what we have to do this time versus last time based on who's going to be playing the best as we know it at that point there. Go over that kind of stuff there with you guys. So we're back again tomorrow, as always, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube, the preferred platform, along with, of course, Facebook, Twitter/X, Twitch, and, of course, Rob's favorite.
Drew's LinkedIn page.
My LinkedIn profile. And, of course, as always, we're available the next day on all the audio podcast platforms, Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, all the big ones there. I should also give a little shout out to anybody that might be listening that I just met yesterday as Buzzsprout, who does our audio podcasting there, had a little get together at the Oxford Exchange in downtown Tampa. So it's nice to get to meet a lot of nice podcasters that are local to this area as well. I did meet one Broncos fan who was talking trash, but it is what it is. But it was, like I said, a nice event. So I just wanted to give them a little shout out as well for having that. It was a nice thing to have. And it's nice to meet other podcasters and all too as well. So, but again, guys, we'll be back again tomorrow. And I appreciate you guys for listening, watching as always. And as always, Giant fans,
At the end of the day, go Jevon! Go Jevon! Jevon! Let's go.
Thanks for listening to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. We appreciate your support.
Thanks so much.
Please, I'm begging you.